when people are really playful and fun lyrically, that is like so catchy and engaging to me
Hmm.
because like I don't want to hear another song about like sunrise or whatever or like smoking a cigarette. Like tell me something real
Hmm.
and give it that energy that is impactful.
Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always, hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 550. Yes, elephant in the room. I did take some time off, some much-needed time off. I just had a lot of things going on in life. But I'm back. It doesn't matter. I'm here. I have a lot of episodes that I have to share with you all. A lot of great chats, starting with this one. Of course, castingfor2.com is the perfect place to go to if you want to see where the podcast is available or pick up some swag, join the Discord, whatever. But yes, this chat is so wonderful. My guest today is Avery Jane from the band Little Hag, and they have a new album available right now called Now That's What I Call Little Hag. And I just had a fun chat with Avery. Just so delightful, so insightful, so another wordful. Just again, fun chat, and I'm excited to stop talking so that we can actually just get into it. All right. So I'm done talking. Everybody sit back, relax, and Avery, take it away. This is a podcast. It's a loose podcast where you talk about anything and everything. But I'm always very interested in finding out when people get bit by the bug. And in your case, when did you get bit by that music bug?
Um, I was like a dancer as a kid,
Hmm.
and I think I was in like dancing school from K through 12, and I loved just like the pop music of the early 2000s that I grew up on.
Yeah.
But the first like band that I ever really fell in love with was ABBA.
Yes.
I
Okay.
remember seeing S Club 7 do Dancing Queen
Yeah.
on the show, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is this song?" And my mom was like, "Oh my God, you don't know that this is ABBA because you're like a kid." And she got me ABBA Gold, and that was like a really formative thing. So yeah.
Man, I haven't thought about S Club in a while. I can't really say I watched them, but of course the music would come on and I would sit there and listen and just when it came out, oh, it's just ABBA. I was like, oh, okay. I feel like there's another group like that. Uh,
Mhm.
18s,
Oh
some
yeah, I feel like there was a bunch of them that were
yeah,
like not as important as the boy bands, or not. I mean, not as famous as the boy bands. I mean,
right.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a
Man,
lot.
oh my! I'm so glad you mentioned early 2000s. I am of that generation as well, and I soft spot for that whole era, the whole emo scene, the I thought there's like the rap metal scene that would
Hmm.
like not I don't know nothing touches that music, even though I feel like a lot of things touch that music, but still in my heart nothing will ever touch that music.
Totally.
But okay, so you were doing dance. Was it just like ballet or another type of dance or just like general dance?
Yeah, I mean, I took like I don't know, ballet, jazz, tap. Um, there was I mean, like feel like I took a million classes.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get back into it because I haven't danced in so many years, but
Mm-hmm.
I was looking into dance classes in Philly. Me and my girlfriend were like, "Let's go." They're like, "It's pretty cheap." Um, I miss like that type of movement because it was so important to me when I was
Yeah.
younger. And then as soon as I graduated high school and stopped doing it, that was it. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do you? do you feel that, and you know, you mentioned that when you graduated, you stopped doing it, but do you feel like that mentality of dance, of that um, kind of discipline you need for it, carried over to your music side?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's like everything is practice.
Mm,
Everything is you get better the more you work on stuff. And like I find that especially with songwriting, like I'll go a really long time without writing a song. Like
mm,
I haven't written a song now in like over a year because I
mhm,
haven't like tried. I haven't like sat down and put pen to paper. I'm always like writing little things, but
mhm,
like um when I try to sit down and write, it builds upon itself. And like most of the new record was I went down to North Carolina with my buddy Noah, and we were like, our goal was to write a song every day for a month.
mm,
So for the whole month of January of 2023, we wrote a song every day.
mhm.
And maybe like half of them were good, and then like a few of them were like really good. So those
Yeah.
were the ones that made the record. But yeah, I think that is something that like kind of sticks with you.
Hmm. I think like, lots to say here, but I just, you know, to the dance side, I really wish as a kid I took tap dance. There's something
Mhm.
fascinating, and I think it's the percussionist in me is like, oh, I can make my own music with just my feet and watch do do do, and I just think that's so fun. You know, nobody would expect a tap dancer to come out and just start tapping away. But I don't know. For me, I feel like if I could, that's what I would want to learn. I don't know if I don't know if there's an age threshold. Um, but
Definitely not. No, never too late.
okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, so I'll look into that. But the other thing was about, you know, writing songs, and I've always been, again, very curious how people are able to turn on their creativity just like on and off. And I'm happy to hear that, you know, you were able to spend a month writing. Do you feel like after that, you know, again, you mentioned you haven't written a song, is it because you feel like, okay, well, I have these 30, some are good, some are there. Do you feel like you're kind of, you tapped out after that writing session?
I mean, maybe by the end, I was like, all right, I don't really, I feel like I don't have anything left to say. Like,
Mm,
what have I not already said, you know?
hmm.
But I think the idea that like artists just get struck with creativity
Mm,
and it's like a genius divine moment, and that, you know, that's the way it always happens. Like, it's like anything. If you want to get better at your instrument, you have to work on it. Like
right.
if you want to get better at songwriting, you have to try new ways or just give it your energy. Um, I think that I haven't written a song in about like over a year just because I've been like really fucking happy.
Mm,
I was talking about this yesterday with Emmy from Bar None Records
hmm.
because she was like, you know, how's things with your girlfriend? How's your life? And I was like, it's great. And she's like, so like no new songs then? And I was like, yeah, like I just feel like, I mean, there are definitely things that I would like to be different, and maybe I
Hmm.
could channel that. But like my general life and my day to day have been like phenomenal. So
Right.
um, it's kind of hard to write about that. I don't feel inspired to write
Mm,
about how good my life is right
right.
now.
Right.
When things are fucked up, or when
Yeah.
something happens, then it's like okay, we can we can work with that. But
Right.
uh, yeah,
Yeah. No, I get it. You know, and it's one of the things that, being a huge comedy fan, you know, I'm constantly like very curious where comedy comes from, what people use it from, and a lot of the people that I like Conan O'Brien, it comes from a sad, dark place.
right.
That, you know, again, everyone has their different process. I'm just like, I don't have that sad dark place, so I can't really relate to that, but I still think that's funny. or he's
Yeah.
funny. Maybe, and again, talking with people during COVID, that was a weirdo situation. Like, hey, so let's talk about your music, even though this global disaster's going on. And it just kind of made a huge bummer for people, including myself. But also, I could kind of see how, you know, something like that, not COVID, of course, but, just something speaks to you, inspires you to get out some music. And if you're in a different headspace, I don't know, tapping into something else, or maybe working
Yeah.
with a different headspace. Who knows?
Yeah. A thing that I would like to do that I feel a little bit intimidated to do
Mm-hmm.
is to explore topics that are outside of like myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
I tend to just write like personal kind of confessional songs where it's like this is what's happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but maybe it's just as I get older too, like I don't find myself to be that interesting anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, especially when I think about like the greater issues of the world, like
Yeah.
I would like to be able to channel in a way that wasn't like corny or pandering,
Mm-hmm.
like fuck American imperialism
Yeah.
and corporate greed.
Right.
Like that is something that people can relate to, and that is a huge, I don't know, issue of our time.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been too intimidated to like approach that topic because it's like, who am I to speak on it, you know? Um,
Right.
but I think, yeah, you just gotta, if I give it a try and it sucks, then nobody will ever hear it.
Right. Right.
That's the worst that would happen.
Yeah, yeah. And so, kind of I totally get it. I've reached that age where, and I feel like my birthday's coming up, so I'm starting to think more and more about it. I never thought I'd be so, and I'm not super in touch with the world, but as I'm growing up, I feel myself gravitating towards the world and watching the DNC and just having a good old time and just being like, look, being up to date with the political process, stuff like that. I'm just like, who am I? What? I used to watch Tiny Toons and shit, and here I
Mm-hmm.
am at politics and getting pissed off. Who is this guy? Who cares?
Yeah.
But I can't help it. It's just, uh, ah.
I
But
mean,
I,
yeah, when there's like so many injustices in the
yes,
world, it's hard to not be like awakened to it unless you like willfully don't want to be, and then you
right.
can you
I,
can not look. But like if you have a phone and you look at your phone, then
yeah,
you're gonna know what's going on, and to some degree.
exactly. Yeah, no, for sure. But you mentioned something about, well, a couple times about writing personal songs to you. Has there ever been a time when you're writing a song and you're just like, you complete it and you're just, I don't know if I can share this. This is a little bit too personal or too sensitive towards me. Have you ever had those moments?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've definitely felt that, but I think that's sometimes where like the best stuff is.
Mm,
So I think you just kind of have to like push through it and feel like if it's meaningful to you,
mm,
it will likely be meaningful to other people, even if it is like super intimate and personal. But yeah, I can't, there's no song that I've written that I would feel too like ashamed to share
mm.
yet. But maybe that's a new goal.
Yeah,
That would
yeah.
actually be that's a good writing prompt. Like write something so real,
Mm,
um, about like, I don't know, something. There are topics that I in my life that I find are like too dark to write about.
yeah.
I'm like, that's just like not, it's not funny or it's not like cool.
Hmm.
So maybe that should be next,
Yeah.
next on the table.
Hey, you know what? I feel like for you, anything is on the table, and nothing. It's always worth a try, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah. And so I was listening to the album, and I'm just very curious. I love to know when you find your sound for this album, because it's very, again, talking about the early 2000s. I love the guitar solos throughout it, and I'm just like, why doesn't music have more of this like it used to, you know? But I'm
Mhm.
just curious, was that very conscious when you were writing the album? Did you always have this sound in mind for you?
No, this was kind of like a bit of a departure for
Mm,
us because all of the music is, I write a song. I write usually an acoustic four chord
mm,
song
mm,
that it has a predictable kind of structure, and then I take it to the band, and I trust them to add their parts to it or to construct around what I've written. And sometimes then the chords that I've written change because we create something new together. But
mm,
basically, it's like I write it and they make it sound good. Um, so that's generally what happened on this record. But I also enlisted the help of a lot of different producers. So
mm,
maybe half of the album is made that way that I described, where like we write the song as I write the song, bring it to the band, we record it, um, and it has like more of a live rock band kind of sound with all the solos.
yeah.
That's all Matt Furnicola. And then there's the other half of the record is I wrote a song and then handed it over to a producer. So like the rest of Little Hag didn't have their hands on that.
Mm,
And I said, like, I trust you to make this sound cool,
mm,
and make it sound like your sound. Or maybe I had a reference track. Like I went to my buddy Josh Perna with The Machine, which I had made like a little kind of electronic demo
mm,
on GarageBand. And I was like, can you make this a Nine Inch Nails song? And he was like,
mm.
oh, yeah, absolutely. So um, there's a lot of weird inspirations or just songs that don't sound like each other because of the 13 songs, there's 8 producers and 8 studios. So it's a lot of different hands
Yeah.
and different talents on there.
And is that why you went with the whole now that's what I call kind of theme?
Yeah, it just felt fitting. It felt like this is kind of like a little head compilation record
Mm,
because it's all over the place. And I also, like I said, have that nostalgia for
yeah.
the 2000s.
Yes.
I probably need to talk about all of this in therapy. Like, why am I stuck in uh, 2002? But
Because it was the best. That's why. It was a
yeah,
good
it was a
time.
cool time.
Yes, like
Looking at, I have a big CD collection, and I
yeah.
was listening to some Now CDs the other day, and I'm like, damn, I'm sure that like the Now CDs of today have great pop hits on them,
Yeah.
but not like not like that.
No, yeah.
Popular music is just obviously very different now.
Yes, yes, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, again, I think about I'm a movie guy, so like movies of that generation just kind of take me back there, but also I I I was talking to my girlfriend about skateboarding and BMXing when that was in its heyday. And remember when extreme was extreme? We were going through the extreme phase. I'm right there with
Hmm.
you. I'm just like, man, early 2000s had it all. Um
Oh yeah.
but so off the album, I'm very, again, I keep saying I'm curious because it's true. But I want to know what was the hardest song to figure out, whether the lyrics or the music just weren't gelling together.
Um, Would It Kill You was a very, I feel like, difficult song to for me to like come around to kind of because when I
Mm-hmm.
wrote it, I it was the first song I think of that batch of 30
Mm-hmm.
that I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So it had kind of been like festering a little bit. Like I had the idea. And then when I wrote it, I was like, is this like fucking corny? Like, is this stupid? And then when I brought it to Andy Waldron of Sailor Boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
who produced it, he took it to this place that I like could never have even conceived of, kind of give it this twinkly, like pure imagination synth.
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, this is cool, but like, I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Like, if I like it, I can't tell if I like it, and I can't tell if like any amount of work or tweaks or new parts is going to make me like it.
Right.
Um, but by the time we got to Andy's final round of mixes, and then handed it off to John Marshall Smith, who mastered the whole record, mixed and mastered the whole record. Um, it was so huge and like unique, and I'm obsessed with it. It's like one of my favorite songs now on the record. But yeah, it took a while.
Nice, nice. And then just kind of going with the flip side of that question, was there a song on the album that just kind of fell together pretty easily or quickly? Just kind of no issues on the album.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of them were like that,
Mm-hmm.
like just because of the way that I tend to work. Like the song is written, and then that the song is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's in somebody else's hands or when it's in the band's hands, like it's going to become the vision that we worked on together. But like I think maybe the easiest was doing the machine because
Mm-hmm.
I came in with a really solid demo that I was excited about. Um, and there was like some stems that I had on the demo that were just like GarageBand free
Mm-hmm.
loops that wound up in the final track. So that was my first time kind of like also producing because when I brought it to Josh Perna, he was like, "Yeah, you want to like use this, helicopter sound effect that you like?" I was like, "We can just use that, like what I did." And he's like, "Yeah, we can do whatever you want." And I was like, "Oh shit, like I'm a producer too. That's cool." And he took the note of make a Nine Inch Nails song about a vibrator
Mm.
and knocked it out. I think we probably worked on that song for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And between tracking everything and adding, he looped a bunch of stuff. We added vocals. We had the song completely tracked in like maybe 2 hours.
Nice. Nice. Okay. And is that why, look, I'm very grateful for all the press material I get, but I was just like, I was going through it and I was just, I got a mini vibrator with this CD. Okay. And I thought it was the funniest, coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
Is that why, is that why that's there?
that's why. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Um, the machine is about like how I had just gotten out of a relationship and I was like, I don't know why I would ever get back into a relationship when
Yeah.
a vibrator is so much better than having sex with a man.
True.
Um, but it turns out a vibrator is not better than having sex with a woman.
Mm.
You live and you learn. Or, you can have it all. So yeah, that one is definitely my poor mom was like, can't you make a nice song? Like, what about like one nice song that I could like show my coworkers,
What
I'm like,
about rainbows?
there
Rainbows,
are,
please.
I think of the 13 songs, there are three maybe that are naturally clean. Like
Mm.
there was no censoring that needed to be done to them.
Hmm.
Um, so that was nice. She can send her friends those ones.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. There you go. Does anybody do censored versions of songs anymore?
oh yeah, I mean, you just need like clean edits for radio at
Yeah. Oh,
least.
yes,
So
yes.
like,
Okay.
um, but I mean, yeah. So I'm with this record. There's the explicit versions and
Right.
the clean ones that are just for radio.
Yeah.
But I had John Marshall Smith when he was doing the bleeps and the bloops on the curses. We took a different approach to every song because some songs it felt more appropriate to just like drop it and have silence for the word.
Mm.
Um, some are like garbled,
Yeah.
uh, like backwards, and a lot of them, most of them, because I thought it was funny, have like a hard beep, like a
Yes.
like a hip hop song beep,
Yeah.
because it just like it lets you know that that curse is under there, in
Right.
a funny way. Um, it's especially funny when there's like a few of them in a row.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, one of my favorite songs on the record, I say shitting like I think 10 times. I was like, there's no saving this. Like there's no way to make this clean. I mean, he did it, but I was like, this is just like too much.
It's, again, growing up, I feel like censored music was a part of my life. And there are certain, like, I forgot his name, but like Back That Thing Up. It's Back That Thing
Hmm.
Up. It's not Back That Ass Up. No,
Yeah.
I've heard it with Back That Ass Up. And I said, what is this song? No, it needs to be Thing, because that's my
Yeah.
world.
Hmm.
And it's just so funny how songs can have multiple identities simply with censoring. And yeah, like even my precious Limp Bizkit, there's songs that I've heard uncensored, but I'm just like, no, after bullshit it needs to cut out, it needs to go bullshit.
Yeah.
That's how it sounds. So
Yeah, because like that's probably how most people hear it because they heard the radio clean
yeah,
versions. Yeah.
yeah, and
It is an art. It's an art
it
to
is.
like make those choices because there's so many ways that you can do it that will like affect the vibe of the song. In the future, I think I would like to try and just write a little bit cleaner because it makes things fucking easier.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do so much cleanup, but it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I think you should just do you, whatever you want. That's what I say.
Hey, thanks, Chris.
Of course. No, because I listened to the album and I loved it. I had the one song that really stuck out to me, and I know I said about the guitar solos earlier, was "Suck Out the Pain," and I was just like, hell yeah, like more of this, because
Yeah.
I just enjoy it. Weezer I grew up with, and guitar solos, I'm just like, hell yeah,
Damn, you know what? That solo is very Weezer now that you mention it.
yeah. Oh,
Um, when we played that one live for a really long time before we recorded it,
mhm.
and Matt Fernicola on guitar would get up there and play like I'm shitting you not a note for note um version of the Bohemian Rhapsody guitar solo.
Yeah,
And I was like, this is it's not guitar solo, the solo section
yeah,
of
yeah,
Bohemian
yeah.
Rhapsody. And I was like, this is like stupid. Like this has to be, and this is not Bohemian Rhapsody. Like you need to write something else. Like you can't just keep doing Bohemian Rhapsody. Um, but every once in a while, live now, when it's coming up on the solo, I'll look at him and go, "You could do it." And he's like, "Really?" And he gets so excited. But so I do still hear Bohemian Rhapsody in that solo.
Yeah,
But now that you mention it, like the tone is so the energy is so Weezer.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, again, I love that you give him permission. I feel like that's kind of a fun thing, to be like, all right, tonight's the night. It's a special night.
Yeah.
Let's do
Yep.
this. Um, and so, one last question that I like to ask everyone, and there's never a right or wrong answer, so there's no pressure, but it tells me everything about you. So I guess there's pressure. I don't know. Um, to you, what makes a perfect song?
um, a perfect song subverts expectations
Okay.
um often.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if it's gonna have a predictable like structure of verse chorus bridge chorus, like then it needs to subvert your expectations in the lyrics or the melody or like there needs to be I think multiple components of the song that you didn't necessarily see coming.
Mm-hmm.
um I definitely try to do that myself. And I think like when people are really playful and fun lyrically, that is like so catchy and engaging to me
Mm-hmm.
because like I don't want to hear another fucking song about like the fucking sunrise or whatever or like smoking a cigarette. Like tell me something real
Mm-hmm.
and make it give it that energy that is impactful by like being fucking honest. But yeah, just subvert expectations. Like
Mm-hmm.
make a line that doesn't rhyme. That's so
Mm.
cool. I have a
Yes.
hard time doing it, so I'm giving out instructions. It's so hard to not rhyme
Yeah.
because your brain wants to rhyme. But if people hear a line that doesn't rhyme, they weren't fucking expecting that. That's sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
I like that. If you want something not rhyme, just call me and I'll give you the worst lyrics around because I can't write a song to save my life. So I got you covered.
I'm gonna take you up on that. You're gonna regret that one.
Nope, nope. I don't even need credit. Just knowing that I helped. That's good enough for me. And so for the people at home who would like to keep in touch with you, the band, pick up the album when it comes out because it's coming out very soon. It's actually what's I don't even know what today. It's coming out tomorrow.
Well, it comes out tomorrow, so by the time this
Yeah.
is released,
So
it'll be
it's
out.
already out. So where can they get it?
You can pick up a physical copy on my Bandcamp, www.littlehag.bandcamp.com. It's streaming everywhere that on all the major streaming services. We are announcing a fall tour very soon, so be on the lookout for those dates. But I'm constantly posting on Instagram and TikTok, so give me a follow on there. It's at Little Hag on Instagram and at little.hag on TikTok.
There we go. There we go. Well, I'm again just Avery, thank you so much for chatting with me. I had a fun time. And anytime you want to come back, just say the word, all right?
Thank you so much. I had so much fun today too. Thanks for asking like insightful and different questions.
I try. I just kind of I don't know. Sometimes I feel like a lot of the questions people ask, you can just Google it and get the answer.
Yeah,
So I'm just like, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
But yes, again, I'm glad you had fun. I'll let you go and you keep staying safe and healthy. All right.
Thank you so much. You too, Chris.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Talk to you later. Bye.